Hey guys, my name is Lilly and today I'm back at my bug out camp again, and as you can see it's fall. So most of the trees have lost their leaves and there are a lot of leaves on the floor, and this is how my bug out camp looks right now. And gladly last time I have brought some firewood up the shelter. Okay, so I will cut this firewood today. Actually I want to do it now. But before that I want to show you something else. I have brought some used mushroom blocks from my basement into the forest, because now I want to use these used mushroom blocks like this one here. This is pink oyster, this is reishi, and then I have many other medicinal and gourmet mushrooms, and I want to use the blocks today to inoculate some trees with the mycelium. And also today I have my chainsaw with me, and I'm going to use it for both cutting the firewood and for inoculating the trees with the mycelium. Okay, so now for inoculating the mushrooms, you have the best chance with wood that has been cut down about 3 to 4 weeks ago. This here is a branch, a side branch from a beech tree that I have cut down 4 weeks ago, and this is still a little bit green but now already dead. And it's important that you wait a little bit until you inoculate the logs, because otherwise the stem still has a little bit of, fight in it, and it can kill the mycelium. So make sure that it's about 4 weeks old or 6 weeks old, but no longer, because after that you have the chance that another mushroom already has taken their spot on the log. So the 4-week period is a very good one, and it will give you the highest chance that the mycelium can grow on the log. So now what we are doing is we are cutting some slots into the log. Then we fill up the slots with the mycelium, and then what you can do is you can seal the slots with this tape so that the mycelium does not dry out. But you can also take some leaves and just put it on the log to make sure that the log stays moist. Now the mycelium of the reishi mushroom is really tough, so you probably will need some cutting tool to get it out of the block. Geh weg! So this is what I'm doing to the log, and it will take some time, and now I will finish all of the other slots too. Okay, so I have gotten my first log, and now I will throw this log behind my shelter, because here it's always dark and there's no sunlight coming here, and I will throw some logs here and then cover it with leaves to keep them moist. Alright, so now I want to inoculate this log with the shiitake mushroom. shiitake is done. Okay, the next mushroom block that I want to show you is this one here. It's the pink oyster. And unfortunately I had to throw it out of my growing room because it has a mold on it. Technically this is a tropical mushroom, so it is not winter hardy. And I heard it will die if you freeze it, so here in Austria it's too cold for this mushroom. But then also I read that if it's fast enough to inoculate the wood and if it's not too cold, then it might survive. So it probably won't survive the winter, but I still want to try and inoculate one log with this mushroom. Next I have the Pom Pom Mushroom here, or lion's mane, and this is very good for increasing the cognitive function. So this mushroom helps against Alzheimer's and dementia. Very interesting medicinal mushroom, but also it tastes very good. This next stem I want to inoculate with blue oyster mushroom. And out of all of the oyster mushrooms, I gotta say that blue oyster is my favorite one. It tastes really good, and I like to use it in chopped sweet dishes, for example. And the great thing is that blue oyster and most of the other oyster species, they have medicinal properties as well. Now I'm going to cover the logs with some leaves, and next year in spring I'm going to dig them into the soil. Now I want to go down into the creek because down there was a tree falling over about 1 month ago, and it's a lot of wood that I can use for my mushroom mycelium. Okay, so this was the tree I was talking about, and it's called Hainbuche. It's similar to beech, and don't even bother to inoculate the old stems here because they already have mushrooms on them, right? So makes no sense to use the old wood here, but this is still fine, so it should not have any mushrooms on it. And maybe also the old stem. Let's check it out here. Yeah. So I will try to inoculate all of these logs. Okay, the next mushroom is king oyster. I don't have so much gas with me today, so I don't want to use the chainsaw anymore. And what also works is if you just throw the mycelium over the log like this, hoping that it will colonize the log. This should also work. Maybe not as good as the other technique, but it's going to work. Okay, so the next mushroom that I want to use is the yellow oyster mushroom, and it's also a very aggressive mycelium. Comes from the subtropics, I believe. Okay, now the reishi is very slow growing, so I'm not sure if this will work. Maybe some other mushrooms take the log before the reishi, so we will see. Woo! This was a lot of work. So here are the logs that I buried underneath the leaves, and I gotta say that this creek here is perfect because it's always moist in this creek, and there are also a lot of other mushrooms growing in this creek. Yes, Amy. And yeah, in spring we will check out if the logs have inoculated or not, and I guess we won't know until then. Okay, so I need to make a pause. It took me longer than I thought to inoculate all of the logs. And now the sun is almost going under, so it's only like 2 fingers in between the horizon and the sun. So now I have to quickly get some poles for the wall here. Maybe I can still build one wall today, or start with one wall. That would be great. Amy, huh? This is coffee, you don't like it? You're hungry, huh? Okay, I just heard a really strange bird. Maybe it was a pigeon, I don't know. It was like... Okay, so now I will take the chainsaw and go into the forest trying to get some poles, and then we are going to make a fire. Here you are. Last time I have forgotten my camera, and I've set it up because I wanted to see if there's something living in this hole underneath the tree. So now I'm going to take this camera with me and maybe check the footage on it. I think it's out of battery. Alright, so it's getting dark quickly. So I want to make a fire before it's too late. A couple of months ago I have made this wax tinder, and it's soaked cotton with wax. Burns like hell. Perfect for making fire in this kind of wet condition. Amy is sleeping a little bit, and also I have a bed for Amy. So this is her bed. I always take it with me into the forest so that in the night she's not freezing. Right now we have about 5 degrees Celsius, and in the night it's going to get 0, which is the temperature when water freezes. So I definitely wouldn't want to camp here without the fire. It is really nice to make a campfire in this cold forest. It's a really nice feeling to have a warm fire around. Wow, that's awesome. So this kind of wood here burns really good. It's hardwood, and there's a lot of energy in this wood. Also, it burns very silently and doesn't spark a lot. So today I found another birch polypom mushroom, and I want to use it to make some tea. So this mushroom is good for any kind of problems with the stomach and the gut. It's a little bit bitter, so maybe it's the bitterness which is curing a lot of symptoms. I don't know, but it's tasting really good. Okay, now it's time for some meat. So here we have some spare ribs from the pig, and this is an organic pig which also lived on straw. And here we have some duck, and this is also organic and could go outside of the stable. So I only eat organic meat anymore because, yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. And now we are going to throw these pieces onto the grill. Whoop. I cannot wait for this meat to cook. So it's really hard to cook this duck because it has a lot of fat, and the fat is dropping into the coals, and then the coals start burning. So I constantly have to move around this piece of meat to not burn it. The duck still needs a little bit of time, so I just let it sit here at the side. This smells so good. I could never be a vegetarian or a vegan, although I understand those people's reasons why they do it, but for me, I cannot live without meat. Oh gosh. Wow. I'm so hungry, it's not normal. So good. Bon appetit. Sometimes it's really good to eat something fat. Lately I have eaten a lot of carbs and I really feel like unhealthy. So every time I get off the carbs and eat more fat and more protein, I'm feeling much better. And also, usually I eat salads and tomatoes, a lot of fiber. Okay, the fire is really warm, but actually still I'm very cold, so now I'm going to go to bed early, and I will take out my sleeping bag now and stay the rest of the night in the sleeping bag. And this is a jacket that I have for Amy. It's an old jacket that I'm going to use as a blanket for her. I just let down the sheet, and this basically makes a tent out of my shelter. And now also the moon is coming up. Okay, now let's go inside. Amy is in her bed already. Good girl. So inside right now we have only 10 degrees Celsius, and my sleeping bag should be okay until -5. But to be sure, I also have taken a wool blanket with me today, just in case that I get too cold. Okay, so now I will try to sleep a little bit, and I hope that I can stay warm tonight.
My friends, yesterday night was really cold. I'm so glad that I took the wool blanket with me, because inside of the sleeping bag, alone, I would have been cold, but with the wool blanket I was cozy warm and I had a really good sleep. And Amy was warm too.
Morgen. Oh, kom her. Kom her. Kom her. Ja, det må give. Eller du må give. Morning. Morning. Good morning from outside too. Yeah, outside it's really, really cold. Sun is coming up now. Amy, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It's really beautiful in the forest. Look at this. Oh gosh. Oh, du Mucke. Was ist los? Was ist los? Was ist los, du kleine Maus? Was ist los? The water is ice cold. Okay guys, I'm out of here, and this was I believe the first night in this region that it has frozen in the night, so the water in the cup was freezing. Yeah, finally winter was here. It was taking too long anyway. So now I'm hiking to my car and I will take out the wool blanket and I will leave it in the car, because if you ever get stuck in the car for some kind of reason and you have to spend the night in your car, then you need a wool blanket or a sleeping bag. So I want to thank you guys for watching and stay tuned till next time.